Hi everybody, this is Keiko. How are you? How are you? How are you? So I just want to say hi. It has been kind of long time since last time I recorded a video by myself. So this is almost Christmas season. 2018 is almost over. We are getting ready. We are wrapping up for the final few days or a few weeks, few days of this year. So not everybody celebrates Christmas, but I still do. It's this is a tradition in my country, Japan. It doesn't matter whether you are a Christian or not. A lot of people in Japan, they love celebrating Christmas with family and friends. I think it is perfectly fine. It is actually very beautiful to celebrate this holiday season. It's because it's we are wrapping up. This is the final cycle, final stage of year. Every year, December Christmas season is the final. We can contemplate what we did in the year and what to appreciate, what we have done, what we have given, what we have received. Sometimes this winter season, it's cold, gloomy, everything is dim, dark. Or the trees, no, you don't see any greens unless you are in the tropical countries. So it seems it's sort of like everything has stopped, slow moving. Everything is gray. It's a depressive month for a lot of people. So it is okay. It is actually more than okay. We should celebrate, especially in this dark season, cold season with colors and light, cheerful music and gatherings of loved ones, friends and family, and exchange gifts. I'm not talking about the material gifts. We don't have to exchange material gifts, gifts of love, compassion, heart. So that's why I like this holiday season, Christmas season, to get together with family and friends and decorate the home with lights and colors. So this Christmas tree, I have kept this for over 10 years. It's my son was still young child when we got this tree, and his preference was colorful rainbow multicolor Christmas trees, so over my preference of pure white Christmas. I love colors, I love rainbows, but I like white lights on the Christmas trees. Anyway, so I just wanted to say hi, and I hope everybody is doing okay, doing more than okay. Wonderful. A lot of still purging is taking place everywhere in this world. I also receive emails from people, lightworkers, or the soul families, that they are having a hard time, difficult time. Their physical illnesses, allergies, all kinds of symptoms, emotional, mental illnesses, issues, problems, relationship issues, loneliness, depressions, angers. My dark side has coming up. All those messages. But I really think that we are now integrating, like an integration period. I like to talk a lot about what I have been experiencing. It's really miraculous. For example, okay, I try not to make this video too long. Alright, so exactly 4 days ago in this room, this is my living room, 4 days ago at 3 o'clock a.m., 3 o'clock in the morning, I conducted a webinar with many of you already know this name, Neo Glimmer Promise of Ascension webinar. This is for Japanese lightworkers community, this for Japanese spiritual communities, because I was the one that translating everything. And this webinar, we conducted a webinar with Neo Glimmer, my friend, my partner, Masako Stewart. So different for one Japanese community, majority of people who attended this webinar was in Japan. So Japan time, Neo lives in Portugal. Portugal time, Georgia, United States. Masako, my friend, California time. All the 4 different time zones. We had to adjust the best time for attendees, majority of attendees, which is in Japan. So my time was 3 o'clock in the morning. Masako, my friend's time, was 12 midnight. And Neo's time was 8 o'clock in the morning. Japan was 5 o'clock p.m. So we conducted a webinar, Promise of Ascension. The webinar lasted about almost 4 hours. We were planning this webinar 2.5 hours, and it extended almost 4 hours. But I just shortly wanted to share what happened during this webinar. It was powerful integration was taking place. Miracles, a lot of miracles are still happening today. Okay, we announced this webinar as like 150 people. It was given to me, as a vision that we want 150 people. And guess what? Universe already knew. Universe planned this webinar. And the 156 people, total of 156 people signed up. It was not a coincidence. So I just knew universe needed 150 earth angels, light workers, their energies. 150 people had to gather. And so I didn't receive any email that people couldn't attend and they just wanted the video. We are expecting at least 150 people are going to gather in this webinar. Three of us as hosts, so 156 people, so nearly 160 people. But what do you think? The attendees of this webinar ended up in the longest period of time. It had held consist of 144 people were in this webinar. And surprisingly, what a synchronicity. Somebody asked a question during this webinar about 144. And Neo's Ascension Codes, the Ascension Codes that he received, there was a number 144 codes, 144, very significant number. And somebody asked about 144, and Neo was explaining about this number. Then somebody mentioned, look at this in the chat. Look at the attendees, number of attendees. Wow, 144. And it was really, really interesting. That energy of the webinar, it was very intense. And Masako, my partner, host of this attendee, this webinar. All of a sudden, right before, like few days, a day before, she lost her voice. She couldn't really speak during this webinar. And not only her, a few messages that I received from Neo's attendees. I wanted to ask questions, but I couldn't speak. I couldn't voice my questions. Things were happening during this webinar. And now I know, and Masako knew, and a lot of attendees knew, everything was really planned accordingly, played out accordingly. If Masako, my partner, spoke, that conduct this webinar together, I was probably also speechless. I would have lost my voice as well, because I have a tendency to rely on somebody, always rely on somebody who are with me, who are walking with me. I have a tendency to have codependency way. So I hope you understand what I'm talking about. But this webinar, I had to really give 100% of my energy, my heart. So universe knew about it. So, and then Neo and I, two of us had to conduct this webinar until very almost end. But after that, people cannot hold their concentrations. They cannot focus, we can only focus so much period of time. You know that, right? So, but universe helped me, all the spirits, the higher dimensional supporters helped me through this webinar, for almost 3 hours straight. I was able to do my best translating what Neo had to share. And after the 3-hour period, my brain started becoming blank. I couldn't function, I couldn't focus, everybody's speaking from left ear to right ear type of things. Then my partner Masako was able to jump in and spoke. And another channeler who were attending this webinar, he spoke, he delivered the beautiful channeled messages to the attendees. Everything worked perfectly, everything. And I saw a vision. This 144 was also a miracle, magical, but another miracle that I wanted to share quickly. Right before this webinar, maybe 1 hour prior, 2 o'clock in the morning, I received a vision. Very clear vision, that all those attendee 150 plus or so held hands together. We are holding hands together, making a huge circle. And from the center of the circle, I saw a vision that bright light, the pillar of light was shining through, going through the universe, to the cosmos, to the sky. And right after that, I received a text message from Masako telling me, Keiko, I think you should do this. We should do a little meditation prior to this webinar together, to hold the energy, raise the vibrations of attendees, everything to the webinar itself. And then when I saw the vision, I also received the guidance, guidance as an inspiration that I should do the meditation when the webinar begins. And then I'm supposed to share this vision with the attendees, that I saw a pillar of light within a circle holding the hands. So Masako and I received the divine guidance at same time. And this other, several people, 10 people or so, who happened to just have some incidents, some accidents, something to do, or couldn't log on to the Zoom. We conducted this webinar via Zoom. I couldn't hear the microphone, or whatever the reason, who couldn't attend this webinar, and then contributed to this number of attendees, 144. So those people are in the spirit form. Their higher selves were their higher selves knew and contributed as spirits to attend the webinar, and we just held that huge, bright, powerful pillar of light to shoot as like a rocket to the universe, to the galaxy. And I really feel, we all feel that this webinar, because of this webinar, all those light workers, we are all given, as light workers, we are given the missions. We are all like playing a role, perfect role together to become the grid. We are, each other, it become the huge grid system to accelerate the ascension process, raise our planet's vibration, each other's vibration to accelerate the ascension process. And because of this webinar, which was held for Japan, in Japan, with Neo Glimmer and 150 plus people, all the light workers, soul families, I strongly feel that we did our mission. One of the parts that we played a perfect role to shift one timeline and then accelerated the ascension process. So we did it together. We did it. Really, we did it. It was amazing. It's a lot of comments, messages that I've been receiving, and I also too myself in my own life that I've been feeling that huge shift. And only 2 people who commented, who sent us messages, only 2 people's message was not very positive. They was rather disappointed because the webinar was this time. That webinar was almost like entirely for Q&A, question and answers, and they say, I didn't sign up for just listening to other people's questions and answers. I wanted to hear more about Neo's experiences, Neo's stories, after they even receiving of this Ascension Codes. I wanted to hear more. And then there were questions that not related to this Ascension Codes or Neo's story. I couldn't speak. I was filled with. I was feeling the negativity toward some of the attendees watching the little gallery view screens. But even those few people, only 2 negative comments that I received. Everything else, other comments were so positive and very powerful integrations. That some even says that they felt the toroid field, the torusnet, the grid system, the matrix system was burned down after this webinar, during this webinar. A lot of people, very intuitive people, really saw a huge integration, huge shift, huge purging. Because of this webinar, the energy we all receive as a collective, as one. But okay, going back, even these few negative comments, amazingly, within 30 minutes, I'm not lying, 30 minutes in the same day, 2 different people, they don't even know each other. They probably live far away from each other, as if they knew each other, or they talk each other as if they talk, and then let's apologize. Let's send emails again to apologize. Within 30 minutes of the same day, those 2 people who told us that they were rather disappointed, they were not happy about the webinar, sent us emails apologizing. I apologized what I was thinking, what I was doing. I felt the purging of my darkness, negative energies, I really apologize. I'm sorry. And they have huge realizations, huge integrations. So that was a really beautiful experience that I wanted to share with everyone. And I thank each one of you to be the beacon of light, pillar of light, and the light grid to shine the entire planet. And then we are all like accelerating the ascension process, our consciousness, conscious level. We are actually shifting to the new paradigm. And we will talk about this Dolores Cannon's splitting in two, divided the two us. I've been receiving the visions about that. I will talk about this next time. But have a happy holiday. I wouldn't say Merry Christmas because some people don't celebrate Christmas, but Merry happy days. And let's move on to new paradigm, new world, new earth, new life. Very soon, bright future is await for all of us. Thank you. I love you. Namaste.